Please stop reading the headlines and let me tell you why. The headlines are all doom and gloom, they always are, and they're saying that the market is going to crash. But the reality is that's not true. A lot of people think that just because the mortgage interest rates are going up, that it's just gonna ruin everything. And then there you've got the news of the recession and the doom and gloom of all of the things that's happening in the world. But the reality is that real estate is still a healthy investment. We've gone through several recessions since the last crazy real estate market crash, and it didn't affect the real estate market. So the truth is we are not in a housing bubble. So let's revisit 2007 for a minute. We all have PTSD from that crazy market crash, but the reality is it's not the same as it was then. If you remember, you could literally walk into a mortgage broker's office and say, I wanna buy a house for $900,000, I have a job, and they would give you a loan. And there was no credit checks, there was no verification of employment, and you walk out of there with a loan for $900,000 when you really live paycheck to paycheck on $10 an hour. That's how it was back in 2007. And what happened? All of those people lost their houses. They foreclosed. Lending standards were really loose and the market dipped, home values dropped, and they lost their homes. There was a tremendous amount of foreclosures. So the difference now is that mortgage standards are so much higher. You cannot just walk into a lender and say that I have a job. They want to see how much money you have, how much reserves you have, meaning how much money do you have in your savings? Are you able to carry this house if for some reason you lost your job? Those are all things that they're looking at now. It's so much more regulated and protected, which is great for homeowners now that are getting mortgages because we know that you're gonna be able to pay your mortgage. The other thing that we keep talking about, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this, is that everybody has, and I would never beat a dead horse by the way, but everybody has so much equity in their homes that they're protected. There's a buffer. So if the market drops, which it's not going to, but if home values decline, there's still so much padding into what their mortgage amounts were to what the home values could potentially drop to, that they're still protected and they're able to make those payments. So we're just not going to see the foreclosures that we saw. So all that being said, let's talk about what's happening here in Crested Butte locally. We're still cranking along. We're seeing a lot of properties go under contract. And I just want to go over just what we've seen in the last month. And so from Almont to Mount Crested Butte, we've had 32 new properties go under contract for a total of $28 million in sales volume. The average sales price right now has dipped just a little bit to $875,000. That's mostly due to a lot of condos that have hit the market from the $500,000 to $800,000 price range. In addition to that, we've seen 51 closings for $57 million in sales volume with an average sales price of $1.1 million. So the closings have outpaced the under contracts for this month. But what else is interesting is that we've had 56 properties hit the market all the way from Gunnison to Mount Crested Butte. So we are seeing a little uptick in inventory. Again, this is very typical for this time of year. Usually when the ski resort closes and the snow melts, we're seeing more properties hit the market. So this is good news for buyers because you're getting a little bit more inventory to look at. You have a few more options. However, we still are seeing multiple offer situations in most price points. And for sellers, you have a little bit more competition, which is going to lead to a little bit longer days on the market, but don't panic. It is still only May, and May is not our busy selling season. And buyers, don't freak out when a property has a little bit longer day on the market. That doesn't mean it has a problem. It just means we don't have the buyers here in town today. So let's do a little recap. This is not a market crash. The mortgage standards are great. People have equity in their homes. Interest rates are rising, but they're not out of control. And we're not in the summer selling season yet. So if you're looking to buy, now is the time. It's a great time to buy property. So just so I know that I'm not talking to an empty room, if this video resonated with you, if you could hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it.